actually am doing a vlog today for my blog instead because I feel like I better connect when I just allow myself to speak with you guys. And some of the things that I wanted to address today was first off, if you haven't figured it out yet, Barefooted Goddess is really about taking off all of the things that we think we're meant to be and allowing ourselves to simply be and exist without any preconceived ideas, without any superstitions, without any um, restrictions, with abandon, to just be your marvelous self and to realize that even without all the designer labels or the fancy things in your life that actually I enjoy, you still have value and you are what make it valuable. And that's really what this is about. And so one thing I really like to teach is about the metaphysical principles and how to use them in your life. And so I want to share with you guys what happened with me yesterday. And I was on my way to visit one of my clients. We were actually doing a clearing on their house. And I know that some of the people who come here, it may seem like, oh, it's not traditional. This isn't stuff that everybody's talking about. But that's okay because I'm not traditional. And if what I say doesn't jive with you, then I might just not be the person for you. And I'm totally fine with that. But if I am, then go ahead and follow me as well as comment, give me some feedback. Tell me what you need to know, what you'd like to know, or if you're wanting more information, we can actually definitely work together. If you're wanting something special. So yesterday, I was on my way to visit this client. My appointment was at 8:30, and when I got on the freeway to get there, it was 8:17. Okay. Now, what is significant about this is they live way out in Booneyville, and it should take me at least 25 to 30 minutes to get there. But I looked at the clock, and I remembered something that was actually taught by Einstein, and what his philosophy was is actually different than Newtonian time. According to Newton's law, time, we have 24 hours in a day, right? That's all we have. And you have to fit everything you need to get done in that time allotment. But what Einstein taught was actually a different theory. His theory is less well known because you can't necessarily prove his theory, as well as you can't. It's just, well, with most things that he taught, he was so far ahead of his time that they're only coming to realizations about many of those things now. Like I think it was just a few years ago, they were actually able to prove that E equals mc squared. And Albert Einstein taught that how many years ago, right? So with that, Einstein also taught that we are time. In actuality, everything is energy vibrating at different frequencies. And being that everything is energy vibrating at different frequencies, as we tune into and align ourselves with these different frequencies, we can actually draw things to us, repel things from us, or kind of shift the gears and how things work. And to just without trying to explain too much, I'm going to tell you the story of what happened so that you can consider, ponder, maybe think it out and feel it out or whatever you want to do with it out. That's fine. Um, so anyway, 8:17, I'm getting on the freeway. It should take me 25 minutes from where my point at that time should take me 25 minutes to get there. And I look at the clock and I'm like, no, that's not going to do. I'll be late. I need to be there at 8:30. I look at the clock again and it says 8:17 and I'm like, okay, I can't change the clock. Like I can't turn back time, if you will. It doesn't mean that it can't be done. It just means I can't do it. I believe anything is possible, and I believe you ought to believe anything is possible because when you take that mindset that anything is possible and we don't know everything already, then we leave room for expansion and we can actually shift, right? So it's really funny every time I put my hands in the picture, it distracts me. Maybe I just stop. So with that said, I was like, no, I need to be there at 8:30. I need to be there at 8:30. I need to be there at 8:30. And I was like, what can I do? And suddenly I remembered the Einstein time. So I was like, okay, then if everything is energy and everything is frequency, and everything is vibration, then I am time. I am time. Okay, I'm not your time, but I'm my time. I govern my own time. And the more I panic about it and am worked up and oh my gosh, I'm not gonna make it, I'm not gonna make it. How often do you not make it, right? You don't make your deadlines, you don't make or meet the quotas or whatever needs to be done. Whereas when you have the mindset that, okay, time's tight, but I can make it, I can make it, time's tight, I can make it, I can make it, and then you make it. Well, I took a totally different thing and I was like, okay, I am time. If I am time, I always arrive in the perfect time. 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 I always arrive. I said that to myself actually out loud the entire drive there. The entire drive. I wasn't speeding. I was moving with the flow of traffic. In fact, there was this black SUV in front of me almost the entire time, and it wasn't going fast. I drove past um, uh, speed limit sign, the one that has like it tells you the speed limit, then it has one of those digital dials that tells you how quickly you are driving yourself. And it said 35, and I remember looking at that thinking, okay, take note. And I kept saying to myself, I always arrive in perfect time. I always arrive in perfect time. I always arrive in the perfect time. I always arrive in the perfect time. I always arrive in the perfect time. And when I would feel myself getting tense or wanting to look at the clock to prove it, I was like, no, don't look at the clock. Relax my body. I always arrive in the perfect time. I always arrive in the perfect time. I always arrive in the perfect time. I pulled up in front of these people's house. Finally, I looked down at the clock just before turning off the engine. 8:29. I got there in half the time it should have taken me. I got there in 12 minutes. I turned off the car, knocked on the door at exactly 8:30. And even when I walked in, I said, you guys are never going to believe this. And I told them, and because they're very familiar with the area, and I said, how long would it actually, should it take me to get from 9800 South, that's where I was, 9800 South in Bangalore, to your house? And they're like, oh, at least 20, 25 minutes, at least. And depending on how traffic is. And I was like, well, traffic was clear, but I wasn't speeding. And they're like, yeah, depending on how fast you go, blah, 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 with all these different factors, they were saying then you could make it possibly in about 15. I made it in 12. I said I didn't speed. I told them about the digital time speed limit sign. And I said, and they were like, that is amazing. And the whole point is I wanted them to kind of start considering how much influence do we actually have in our own lives, right? If we are truly to become the highest version of ourselves or the best version of ourselves, we really have to consider that maybe we don't know everything. And in not knowing everything is awesome because it opens up the opportunity to learn something new, right? So for what that's worth, take it into your life, feel it out, play with it. Maybe it will serve you. And for now, I look forward to seeing you again. If you have any comments, please leave them in the box below, as well as I hope to see you again. Follow me and let's get connected if you feel like I'm someone who can help you maybe navigate around some of your stuff. And I'll see you later. Much love. Bye-bye.